Good morning, and thanks for watching the Market Day Report. I'm Janet Atkinson. Senate appropriators reject the Trump administration's budget cuts and vote to reinstate the Undersecretary of Rural Development. The Senate's ag spending bill allocates nearly $5 billion more than the president's request and $8 billion more than last year's levels. It also includes a bipartisan agreement to support both dairy and cotton producers. Ranking member Debbie Stabenow calls the bill a win for farmers and rural communities, saying, quote, "By and large, the bill rejects the Trump administration's short-sighted budget proposal that called for sharp cuts to the Farm Bill and rural development. Not only does this bill make important interim improvements to help dairy farmers recover from tough economic times, it also sets the stage to continue repairing the dairy safety net in the Farm Bill," end quote. At a time when on-farm incomes are down more than 50%, many are looking for relief. One place they're turning to is tax reform. Farmers are joining the American Farm Bureau in Washington, D.C. to make the case. And Sarah Mock is there with more. Sarah?
The American Farm Bureau Federation has farmers from across the country in Washington this week to speak with lawmakers about the importance of tax reform and about how to get it done in 2017. We're here with Isabella Chism, the vice chair for the Women's Leadership Committee for the American Farm Bureau and an Indiana farmer herself. Isabella, could you talk a little bit about why you folks are in town this week?
Well, I left my family home picking sweet corn in order to come to Washington, D.C. and share with legislators how important it is to have tax reform.
Could you talk a little bit about the issues with like-kind exchanges?
Well, it allows us the opportunity to defer taxes. And then in our most recent case, we had some land that was taken by eminent domain, and we ended up needing to figure out what to do with this money now that was coming in. And fortunately, we had the tool of like-kind exchange in order to be able to purchase ground to keep our land base the same as we had before in order to support our family.
Yeah, being able to pass that family farm down is so important, and I think a big part of doing that is dealing with the estate tax. Could you talk a little bit about what reform maybe for estate tax might look like?
Specific tax reform on the estate taxes would be just to eliminate it completely. Then we know what to plan for every year. We need something that's stable and doesn't keep changing every year.
Absolutely. Uncertainty is a big problem in agriculture, something that all farmers deal with. I'm curious, do you, on your farm specifically, are there tools that you use to manage that uncertainty, maybe in terms of taxes or in other ways?
Yes. Every year, we always make sure that our estate plan and succession plan is in line with what the current laws are, and it's usually tax laws that we consider. So some of the tools that are available to us outside of the tax laws would be accountants and lawyers that know what they're doing and are up on those things every year, which unfortunately costs a lot of money and time in planning and in working with them. So every time there's a change, it's a greater cost of time and money for all the farm families across America.
How are things going on the farm this year?
You're asking a farmer from Indiana. So we have had a very late spring, a very wet spring, a very cold spring, and now the crops we've got a average stand at best, and we have no stand at all in some of the places that we've even had to replant twice. But all in all, God always takes care of us.
Very important words to remember. Again, we're here with Isabella Chism, member of the American Farm Bureau, here in Washington this week to talk about tax reform on behalf of all American farmers. We'll be doing more updates throughout the morning from the American Farm Bureau. Until then, back to you in the studio.
Thanks again, Sarah. Well, AFBF economists stress farming is unique because 79% of capital on an average farm is immovable, meaning farmers can pick up and chase better tax rates. A key reason they say tax reform is critical.